We're old enough, you remember back in the time, in the 60s and early 70s, where it was just expected that innovations would sort of transform the world. People dreamed about tomorrow, and who brings tomorrow into the present, if not the technologists, the scientists, and the engineers? That was coincident with the time when we had these great ambitions. In a rather turbulent decade, of course. The 1960s, the most turbulent since the Civil War, for sure, with the civil rights movement and the assassinations, a hot war, a cold war. And the one shining beacon in that period was the moon missions. Everything was possible. The World's Fair was in that decade. That was all about tomorrow. And so if you lose your space edge, you lose everything else about society that enables you to compete economically. Of course, we went to the moon because of a military motivation. That's why we stopped going anywhere beyond the moon, because we saw that Russia was done. They were not going to go to the moon. The dreamers back then were thinking that we went to the moon because we were explorers, and if that were the case, of course, we would have continued on to Mars. But we didn't. And it was obvious in retrospect why we didn't. I would argue that today, if we think of China as competition, economic competition, which they surely are, then to pull back on our space ambitions is a direct sort of lever arm on our capacity to compete economically.